Hi everyone, and welcome to our Wellness Wake Up with Nat and Charlie through Connexions Resource Center. I'm Nat, I'm Connexions Communications and Outreach Coordinator, and today we are going to be sharing a lovely book with you, The Memory Tree, this one here, by Britta Teckentrup. And this is just a lovely book and a perfect book actually for this week, which is Mental Health Week here in Quebec. And as we've spoken quite a bit of it this week, the theme for this year is Get Real. So the idea that it's okay not to be okay, and to really talk about our feelings so that we can kind of cope through all of the losses that we are especially feeling now. So The Memory Tree is actually a beautiful book, which me and Charlie have read quite a number of times. And it's about the loss of a loved one and how Fox's friends kind of gather together to celebrate his life and to share some of the memories of Fox. So let's read the book. I'm just going to get this ready. All right. The Memory Tree by Britta Teckentrup. I hope I said that correctly. We'll get even closer to our book. The Memory Tree. Get even closer if you want, Mike. There was once a fox who lived with all the other animals in the forest. Fox had lived a long and happy life, but now he was tired. Very slowly, Fox made his way to his favorite spot in the clearing. He looked at his beloved forest one last time and lay down. Fox closed his eyes, took a deep breath, and fell asleep forever. Everything around Fox was still and peaceful. Snow began to fall, gently covering him with a soft blanket. Owl had watched Fox from the top of his tree. He flew down and landed next to his friend. Owl was very sad. He had known Fox for a long time. But Owl knew the time had come for his friend to leave. One by one, Fox's friends came to the clearing. First squirrel and weasel, then bear, deer, and bird, and finally rabbit, mouse, and others came to sit by Fox. Fox had been loved by everyone. He had been kind and caring. No one could imagine life in the forest without him. The animals sat in silence for a very long time. Owl was the first to speak. He smiled warmly and said, "I remember when Fox and I were very young. Every autumn, we raced to see who could catch more falling leaves." The other animals remembered and smiled. Mouse said softly, "I remember how much Fox loved the sunset. He always sat at this exact spot." The animals remembered. Many of them had joined Fox watching the sun go down. It was a happy memory, and their sad hearts filled with warmth. Bear remembered how Fox had looked after her cubs one spring. Rabbit smiled when she told the story of how Fox had played tag with her in the tall grass. Squirrel talked about Fox helping him dig up buried nuts in the deep snow last winter. One by one, the animals remembered their favorite stories about Fox. Fox had touched the lives of all the animals in the forest with his warmth and kindness, and they all smiled, remembering. While the animals talked, a little orange plant grew out of the snow where Fox was lying. Small and delicate at first and hardly noticeable, the plant grew bigger, stronger, and more beautiful with each story. The animals talked about Fox all through the night, and in the morning, the little plant had grown into a small tree. The animals saw the tree and knew that Fox was still a part of them. During the next days, weeks, and months, the animals remembered many more stories about Fox. Their heavy hearts began to feel lighter. The more they remembered, the more the tree grew higher and more beautiful until it was the tallest tree in the forest. A tree made from memories and full of love. Fox's tree was big and strong enough to shelter all the animals. It was always buzzing with life. The birds built their nests among the leaves, and Owl raised his grand chicks on the branches. Squirrel found a cozy home in the trunk, and bear, deer, and rabbit slept in its shade. The tree gave strength to everyone who had loved Fox. And so, Fox lived on in their hearts forever. The end. Such a lovely, lovely story, a beautiful story that we really, really cherish, and that we've read quite a number of times. And the whole idea of sharing memories is such an important one. And in fact, I really wanted to show you a book that I had created for my mom. And this is just to give you ideas of not just sharing memories, but making memories and how important they are when a loved one does pass. And I had bought this book a while back for my mom, and maybe if you get a little closer, you'll be able to see it, and I'll lay it down like this. And I had bought this for her 65th birthday. And I just loved the opening here. It says, "Enjoy the little things in life, for one day you will look back and realize they were the big things." And it is so, so true. Very much true. And I just wanted to show you this album because, like I said, I'd given it to her when she was 65. And it's just not only filled with pictures, but filled with memories as well. And it's just an important thing to kind of go through every so often, not just for yourself, through, trying to cope through your grief, but it's especially important for your children. And this book starts off with my mom's mom and her family and her growing up. And what's especially touching about this book is she loved this book. And in fact, what I had asked of her sisters and her family and her brothers was for her to write some memories of her. And these are letters that her family, her brothers and sisters, wrote just for her and her friends too.
Did she have a big family?
She did have a huge family, as you can see from the pictures. Yeah, she had a huge family, and they all wrote letters for her. And the letters were all about the memories that they had of her and all those touching and heartfelt moments that they cherished the most about her. And she loved her letters, loved them, and she used to read them often. And then when my mom passed away, it was an opportunity, well, not an opportunity, sorry, that's the bad word, but I got the book, and I'm able to now read those letters and to kind of share those memories with my family and my children. And that was really important for my kids to kind of share those memories, because then it also allowed them to share their own memories and to kind of grieve, right, and to process all of that. So there's quite a number of pictures here. Some of them might be a little bit personal, but it's all fun stuff, and it goes all the way through to a letter that even I had written, and that I still do write. It's important to write out letters and to share these memories, and if you have a journal, it's another way to kind of process that grief, right? So me as a child, and then most importantly,
my father as well, who passed away a couple of years afterwards. So I made sure to include him in the album too. And like I said, most importantly, the whole idea, if you have children, of letting them grieve as well and sharing the pictures that they had with their nanny, and of course allowing them to make crafts. And it's their way of kind of saying goodbye as well, right? Of remembering and cherishing and celebrating that life. And it's a difficult thing to do, but it's so important. And I made sure that all of the kids had that chance to kind of make pictures of themselves with Nanny and Grandpa and whatnot. So I just wanted to share that because like in the memory tree, the idea of celebrating life is just a really important part of grieving. And I guess this would be my memory tree. So creating that album for yourself and for your children is just a really nice activity to get through the hard times. So I know it's so pretty, eh? So just to leave you with that, we had a really amazing week this week. It was a lot of stuff to kind of work through, right? About getting real about our feelings, learning ways to cope through our many losses, not just loss of loved ones, but loss of, our independence, loss financially, loss of the loved ones that are still out there but that we can't hug or connect with really unless virtually. So many losses. So I would like to thank everyone for joining us this week and for, celebrating the importance of really sharing our feelings, not just for ourselves, but for our children, for our families and whatnot. So I'd like to thank Lori, Matthew, and Emma, who joined us on Monday to share with us their yoga routine. And Lori is actually from Home Wakefield Wellness. If you want to see that live, you can go back and watch it. We also want to thank Angie Wellman from Wellman Wellness. And Angie is a psychotherapist who spoke to us about different ways to cope through COVID-19. And basically telling us that all this turmoil and all these ruminations and these feelings are normal. It's just a normal way of kind of processing the information and whatnot. So you can also go back and see her video. Is an amazing video. And then of course we had Derek McKinley from Sing Song Party Time, who came and sang Lama Lou. Just a great way to kind of brighten our day and kind of bring that sunshine into our lives. And then we had Brandy, Eamon, and Sweet Caroline and her friends from Bee's Farm who joined us yesterday and who answered all of our questions. And thank you so much to all of you for coming. And we also had Rebecca, who shared some amazing lives as well. And then we had a few other things as well. So if you want to go back and go see those videos, you can, and see the videos before. I hope that everyone has an amazing weekend and a happy Mother's Day as well. That's this weekend, even though it's supposed to be snowing. But hopefully you guys have an amazing weekend and you have that time to kind of cherish those memories and your loved ones. And we'll see you next week. Bye.